Just give people a few minutes to, a minute or so to settle in or out. I'm just curious. I'm going to play violin for a sec. Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, great.
Is your violin in traditional tuning? You know, same tuning we would use for American and Irish tunes and so on?
It's a traditional Arabic tuning, not a traditional European tuning.
All right.
I'm tuned, I'm actually using a sort of rare Arabic tuning. Most Arabs tune G, D, G, D. I'm actually tuned...
G.
Most Arab violinists tune G, D, G, D. So the A and the E strings are tuned... The A and E strings are tuned down a step to G and D. So it's that's standard. I'm actually tuned G, D, G, C. Which is a tuning used by a few Egyptian violinists, but it's not very common. But I like it for various reasons that...
And should workshop participants have our fiddles with us?
No.
No?
Most of the workshop is going to be singing.
Oh. Okay, because I do play the fiddle, but I wouldn't...
You're welcome to have it with you. You're welcome to have it with you.
I don't want to retune it at the moment. I wouldn't need
You
to
don't
know
need to
that.
do, you don't need to do that. You don't need to worry about it. Okay. So let me get started. Through this workshop and the next two workshops, today, tomorrow, and Sunday, I'm going to focus on different maqamat. So a maqam is what we use to refer to as an Arabic mode. I don't like to identify it with scale, and I'm going to take a particular approach today to show that. Today I'm going to do maqam nahawand. And nahawand sometimes is, and actually let me put this in the chat. So maqam, M-A-Q-A-M is how we spell maqam, a musical mode. And today we're doing maqam nahawand. And maqam nahawand often has the same notes as the minor scale. I say this because a lot of you may be aware that there are a lot of microtones in Arabic music and a lot of scales that do not match to the Western scale system. A lot of quarter tones in particular. Nahawand doesn't initially start with it, although it does have some microtonality. But I'm going to start off without the microtonality so that we can highlight really what's the difference between a maqam and a scale. So as I was saying to the woman who's asking the question earlier, we're going to be spending most of the time singing in class today. And I always like to emphasize at the beginning of all of my classes that I view maqam as a physical skill, not as an abstraction, not as a mathematical abstraction, not as a theoretical abstraction. It's a physical skill like cooking or dancing or climbing a mountain or driving a car. It involves muscle memory, and the physicality of it influences the structure of the musical system. So I want us, before we actually get started with singing, I want everybody to just take a moment where you are. If you can stand up, that's great. If not, don't. But I want you to take a moment and take some deep breaths with me. Really feel your breath going into your body. Feel your breath expanding your stomach, expanding your rib cage. Actually enjoy the feeling of the breath coming into you and going out, like a relief when it escapes. And check in for a moment with your body. What do your feet feel like, whether you're sitting down or standing up? What does your feet feel like on the ground? What do you feel in the top of your head? What do the backs of your knees feel like? And notice your breath still coming in as you move your attention around your body a little bit. Really try to check in. Is there anything strong that's coming out to you from your body? Something particularly painful or that feels good? Are you cold, warm? Just notice. And now take a moment and wiggle, shake a little bit. You can shake your hands, shake your arms. And start to make sound. Make crazy sounds. Feel free to unmute and share your crazy sounds with everybody else. Or you can just listen to me be crazy. And shake your body around. And now take a moment and settle down again as you're standing. And I want us to do one more thing, fake laughter. I mean, it could be real if you find it funny, but I want you to laugh. And as you laugh, place your hands on your diaphragm, like on your stomach, and feel your stomach jiggle as you laugh. This is where we're going to produce sound from. Take a moment and settle down again to whatever it is that you're feeling. And with the same feeling of of laughing, let's do the sound. And do like I'm doing. And now let's do Now, I'm going to start singing melodic phrases, and I want you to copy them after me. So I'm going to do each phrase twice. And I want you to listen the first time, and then sing along with me the second time. And I'm going to use the syllables ya, leil. Can everyone write ya, leil? I'm going to write it in the chat. Ya, leil. Can everyone just say ya, leil? Ya Layl means oh night. Night as in the nighttime. And when we're addressing someone, we say yeah. As in, like you would say, yeah, Sami, tell me something. if you were talking to me in Arabic. So, oh, night, and we use this a lot when we're improvising lyrics. When we're improvising melodically, we'll say ya layl. So, again, repeat after me. Ya layl, ya layl. Right? So first time, listen. Second time, repeat. Ya layl, 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 ya layl. Ya layl, 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 ya layl. Now, I have a request to those of you with instruments that for now you don't use them. Of course, it's a request. You guys are free to do what you want. You're free people. But I want you to get the sound of the maqam in your voice before you use it on the instrument. Because it sits a little bit more deeply. It's also easier to get the details more quickly that way. Yeah. Ya layli, ya layli, ya layli, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl. Ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layli, ya layli, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya Now you'll notice that so far I've only been using part of the scale, basically centered on the first few notes of a scale. And in Arabic music theory, we call this a jins. I'm going to write it down here, Jins. And the word jins, actually the medieval Arabs took from the ancient Greeks because they were studying ancient Greek music theory in the 9th and 10th century, 8th, 9th, 10th centuries. And they took the word genus and they made it Arabic, jins. And in ancient Greek music theory, they talk about the tetrachord genus, a group of 4 notes. And this concept in Arabic music theory is taken directly from this concept of the ancient Greeks, we have a wider variety of what are called these. The plural would be ejnas. I'm going to also type that. So if you hear me say ejnas, I'm talking about the plural of jin. Oh, oops. I misspelled that. A-J-N-A-S. Jins, ejnas. So this first jins is jins nahawand. And we're using a few notes of the scale. Can everyone identify... well, let me sing again. So repeat after me again. Ya lil, 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 ya lil. Can someone unmute and sing for me the tonic of what we've been doing? Great. Right? And how do you identify a tonic in modal music? You listen for tension and resolution, right? So if I were to play ya lil, and I end on this note, we hear that it's unresolved. And it wants to resolve ah. And if I sing ya lil, ya lil, we hear it wants to resolve ah. So this is our tonic. So my question to you is, we know that this note is important. Ah, we're going to call it 1. If everyone can sing 1, 3, 2, 1. Repeat that. 3, 2, 1. And I want you to notice another note within the jins. Ya lil, ya lil, ya lil, ya lil. So this note that I'm singing is also an important note if you've been listening to the melodies we've been doing so far. And what scale degree is that note? 5. I'm seeing people say, right? Let's count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. So the melodies that we've been doing so far are in this compass of these 5 notes. This is the first way that we start to see that the ancient Greek music theory is misapplied to Arabic music, because they say there's 4 notes. But here we're using a compass of 5 notes. We can talk about the tunings of those notes. I'm not going to for the moment. But the thing that I want you to start to observe is the melodic vocabulary. Would anyone, what we've just been singing, would anyone mistake it for Irish music? Would anyone know? Would anyone mistake it? Would anyone mistake it for Mozart? No. We could name any other kinds of music that use a scale similar to this scale and realize that the difference is not in the scale. The difference is in the melodic vocabulary. What do I mean by melodic vocabulary? I mean literally segments of notes, sequences of notes that are stored in memory. I'm going to give you an example that we've just been doing over and over again. Ya lil. Repeat that one. Ya lil. Right? This sequence of notes is like a word in our vocabulary. We, meaning Arabic musicians, practitioners of the music, have tens of thousands of these words, and that's what forms the vocabulary of melody. So if I make a longer melody, ya lil, ya lil, ya lil, ya lil, ya lil, that for me was 4 or 5 words. Ya lil, first melody word. Second one, ya lil. Third one, ya li li ya. Fourth one, ya li. So I made that melody by combining these shorter melody fragments into longer ones. And it is that melodic vocabulary that gives the identity of the maqam and the jins. You'll notice I'm not doing things like ya lil, right? I'm not using these arpeggios that I might use in Western music or something else. The very specific sequences and the order in which I'm doing them are vocabulary items. So in order to learn maqam, you have to learn vocabulary. Vocabulary, again, I want to emphasize, is a physical process, meaning it's something that we write into our brains and our bodies. We train our muscles to be able to execute sequences, as in any other physical activity. The more we get used to executing those sequences, the easier they get, the more they're just in our memory and we know them. We don't have to think about them. So teaching maqam for me is like teaching a Spanish class. I just go over the words and the sentences, and you have to absorb them into your memory in order to get them. Much more than any theory. Like we could, the ideas of the intellectual dissection of this is something that is a much smaller part of what's actually going on. I am for the moment going to change keys, however, because I want to start to get into other parts of the scale and I want to make it easier for people to sing. So I was doing Nahawand on C. I'm going to move to Nahawand on A. So take a moment, once again, get into your bodies. Notice what you're feeling. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah. Yalili, yalil. Yalili, yalil. Yalili, yalil. Ya lil, ya lil, ya lil, ya lil. You're starting to notice some of the same vocabulary items that we were doing before. You should start to notice I'm repeating a lot. Ya lil, ya lil. Ya lil, 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 You'll notice that I went to the higher part of the scale. I'm going to go there again. Ya lil, 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 ya lil. Layli ya lil, layli ya lil, ya lil, Where are you feeling the tonic? Can someone unmute and sing? So you're still feeling it down here. Is anyone feeling it here? Somebody feeling it? So we're kind of ambiguous. Yeah? This note, the note that I'm calling a secondary tonic, which we're going to get a little deeper into. Where is it relative to the first note? What scale degree is it? 5 again, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm doing now on 5, Jins Kurd. Jins Kurd. I'm going to write that in the chat. You hear this note is unstable. At the end, I came back down to the Nahawand. What I'm doing is I'm improvising in the way that improvisation would happen. I'm just breaking up my improvisation into shorter sections. So this might be something that would happen in improvisation. I was, however, holding myself back from doing something that I really wanted to do, and that is a necessary part of Maqam Nahawand. So we'll get into that because I can't help myself. Does anyone notice that I changed the tuning of one of the notes? Which scale degree did I change the tuning of? 6. Right? Sing with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was what we had before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right now in Nahawand on A, we would call this an F half sharp roughly, but it's pretty low. It's lower than exactly a quarter tone. 8, 7, 6, 8, 7, 6, 7, 6, 5, 7, 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5. Are you hearing the 5 as a tonic? More now. The bayat. So this is Jins Bayati now. The bayati changes only one note from the kurd, but it has a totally different feeling. Ya layli, ya layn, ya layli, ya layn, ya layli, ya layli, ya layn, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layli, ya layli, ya layl, ya layl. I changed that half flat, half raised 6 down before I returned and gave us a resolution on the Nahawand. I'll sing it again and I'll use the jins names. Bayati, 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 kod, kod, nahawand, nahawand. Bayati, bayati, ya layli, ya layli, ya layl, ya layli, ya layli, ya layl, ya ya layli, ya layl, ya layli, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, ya layl, layl, cold, cold, nahawand, nahawand. So I hope you're starting to see how, okay, I'm playing in these different areas of the scale. Sorry, is it spelled? It's spelled nahawand. I just put it in there. Nahawand is the name of both the maqam and the bottom jins. I'm going to add one more jins for you. Ya layli, ya layl, ya layli, ya layl, 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 ya This is called Jins Hijaz. I'm going to put it there. It has that augmented second interval that is popular among European Orientalists who think that that makes Arabic music. Ya Lil, 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 Ya Lil. Where are you hearing the tonic? Sing it for me. By unmuting. Right? We've spent more and more time on this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Every jins that we've done, other than the original Nahawan, has been centered on this 5. So the more we spend time with it, the more we're starting to settle into it as our tonic. But you can still hear resolution. So if I'm singing Hijaz, 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 Nahawand, I can still get to the, still draw on your ear for the memory of the lower Nahawand. I want for a moment to focus on a third aspect that I haven't been touching on very much, which is the mood or feeling of each of these ajnas. Remember, ajnas, the plural of jins. And I want in particular to compare Hijaz and Bayati. So this is Hijaz. Sing, repeat after me. Ya Lil, Ya Lil, Ya Lil, Ya Lil, Ya Lil, Ya Lil. And this is Bayati. Ya Lil, ليل يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل. So I want you to take another moment and reconnect again with your body and your breath. And I'm going to play one and then the other. And I want you to think of what you're feeling. There's no correct answer. Whatever does it make you feel? And be as specific as you can. Not just sad, but melancholy, or not just happy, but, right? Think, how specifically does it make you feel? I'm going to ask you guys adjectives after I play. So I'm going to play first one and then the other. That was Hijaz. Give me an adjective. How does that feel? Wiggly. I like that.
Like a fiery, passionate desire.
Fiery, passionate desire. That's nice. Anyone else? Like a snake. Nostalgic. Great. Okay? However you feel about that. Now I'm going to play Bayati. Again, with the same intentionality. Listen for how Bayati feels. All right, give me some adjectives for that. Wistful, nice. Longing, regal, stable but melancholy. Oh, you guys are great with these adjectives. Sometimes I ask people and they're like, okay. So there's no correct answer, but the important thing is to notice the difference. Now let me play them back and forth, and I want you just to listen for when one changes to the other, okay? And how the feeling shifts. Pay attention to your own feelings. You feel the shift in difference when I switched from Hijaz to Bayati? Now, there's a question in the chat, and is the jins the same as tetrachord, or is it a maqam, or is it modulating to a different maqam in the upper part of the scale? I'm confused as to its meaning. The whole class is to answer this question for you. We're getting there, and I'm just to give you a preview of what is happening. The maqam uses these different areas called ajnas, each jins. And I define each jins in three ways. One is literally what are the notes, right? We have in Bayati, this which we were calling 5, if I call it 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have Hijaz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kurd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those are just the notes. And as I said at the beginning of class, and as I've been illustrating, that's not enough for us to know what's going on. There's a melodic vocabulary that is a much bigger component of what's going on. The melodies of each jins are different from each other. But then there's also this subjective component of what is the mood. So I view each jins through these three lenses. What are the notes? What is the mood? And what is the melodic vocabulary of each jins? Put together, each jins has its own identity as a character. I think of it as like a friend, someone that you know. Like Ernie Fischbach in the middle there, I've known for 20 years. It's been a while since I've seen you in person, Ernie. Right? But I would know Ernie if he had a beard or if he was wearing a different hat, right? Whatever the characteristics that you think about Ernie, you look at his nose or his eyes, you think you identify them. If he came in and looked a little different, if you met him for the first time, you wouldn't know him. But if you know someone, you can see them across the street and in the moment know exactly who they are. This is how listeners to the music identify the jins. They don't necessarily even know the word. Nahawan, Kurd, Bayati. But you're experiencing it and you're experiencing the change. And so what is a maqam? The maqam is the pathway among these ajnas. And in a given maqam, there are expectations for which ajnas are going to be used. And in maqam Nahawand, we're almost always going to have these four. Several others, but these are pretty common. In songs, in improvisations. And I'm going to take a moment and we'll listen to some songs. But the essential thing is that the maqam is this structure and the relationships among the ajnas and the pathways among them. Traditional maqam theory would define each jins as a new maqam. But when you listen to repertoire and you hear that these things happen in the same combinations over and over again, then you'll start to see that the maqam, these songs have an identity with these multiple ajnas together, not just Nahawand on 1 and Kurd on 5. So let me play some musical examples. I'm gonna share a screen and we'll listen a little bit. Okay. I'm going to go. Can everyone see what I'm on the screen here? Let's see here. This is a playlist that I will share with all of you. Can everyone hear that? Someone give me a thumbs up. You can hear? Yeah. Someone sing the tonic. So we'll call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Eight, 7, 6, 5. We started with Jins Kurd. 8, 7, 6, 5. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nahawand. Immediately she starts Bayati. 8, 7, 6. Ifrah ya qalbi. So we started Bayati, Bayati, Nahawand, and then Kurd, Nahawand. this is the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, Bayati. 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5. You hear the 6. Sing with me. 5, 6, 7, 6, 5. And she sings, Ya farhatin. Bayati. Still Bayat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And then the flat 6. Back to the kurd on 5. 5, 6, 7, 8. So kurd on top. Now, this is another jints that we haven't covered yet. 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5 has a flat 8. This is called jins saba. And again, these songs, this is a short song. You see how many times they make little changes. Saba is very related to Bayati. It's the same as Bayati, but it just has one, that 8 is lowered. So there was Hijaz. I am 5, 6, 7, 8. For now, you can consider it like a variation of Bayati moving to Hijaz. And then we're going to get the Hijaz. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Straight up Bayati. Flat 6. Let me choose another song to listen to for a minute. So many good ones. I'm going to share this playlist with you, obviously. So the first song was a classic by the great Egyptian singer Kulthum. The second most recorded singer in the history of the world after the Indian playback singer Lata Mangeshkar. Above in number of recordings Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra. So Kulthum is one of the most important singers in the history of the world, but most Americans don't know about her. This, we're moving to Syria for some traditional Syrian songs sung by Hassan Hafar. So 1, 5, 5, 1. The melody starts قُلْتُ لَمَّا غَابَ عَنِّي 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's a little bit of Bayati raise 6. So Bayati on 5. And then back to chord. 8, 7, 6. Flat 6. Nahawand. Nahawand. Bayati 7, 6, 5. Back to chord. 8, 7, 6. The flat 6. Back to Bayati. You can hear the same melodies. Ifrah ya elbi from the previous song. We don't have a lot of time, and hold on. Let me pull up this link. I'm going to share it with you. This is so on my channel. I'm going to put this in the chat. So on my channel on YouTube, I have 43 lessons already that are structured similar to this class, where I'm singing phrases back and forth and you're learning the melodic vocabulary of the maqam. But I also have a bunch of playlists of songs by maqam, so that you can listen and hear. So if you search my channel, you'll find playlists in different maqamat, but I've just put in the chat the playlist for maqam Nahawand. And if you listen to a bunch of songs, you will start to hear these different ajnas again repeated in combination with each other, and then that will, like the maqam, you'll see as the larger structure that comes about when these things interact. The way that I like to talk about it with, because I sometimes teach belly dancers and people don't care about, what's the scale degree or whatever. I think about this as the maqam as a drama, right? We have these different characters, the different ajnas as different characters. And it's not just we have a bottom part of the scale and a top half of the scale. We have these different identities that we're moving among, and the movement among them creates this drama and resolution. So it's almost the maqam is the palette, again, to use a different metaphor, from which the painter is choosing different colors to use together. Right? Or it's the cast of characters that you could use in your play, right? So there are, right, a given maqam has an expectation of which ajnas are going to be part of it, and a vocabulary for each one, and the creative person, whether you're composing a song or improvising, you're working within these structures. But just like in speaking in English, there's a lot of, like, every word that I'm doing is vocabulary that I'm saying right now, right? I'm not inventing new words as I speak to you now, but yet I can make totally new sentences from the words I know. And that's how improvisation and composition happens within traditional maqam structure. This vocabulary and set of expectations that then the performers or composers will play against. Like, an expectation is there as a listener, and then if I do something different, that's going to be an aesthetic moment. Like, oh, okay, that I was surprised by something. So I'll take a few questions for a few minutes. Use the raise hand function if you don't mind, just so that we can keep things in order. Although if nobody have any, okay, I'll look at the
echo Michelle's. Oh, okay, you already looked.
Yeah, let me look in the chat. So Michelle asked, do you have any guidance for us on tonal quality, either for voice or instrument using these melodies? Same question for vibrato. For now, I would say, like, at the beginning stages, if you're, some of you, I mean, I saw a gentleman with an oud, so there's not everybody here is a beginner. I would say don't worry as much about tonal quality as simply about copying the melodies as much as you can. However, the question on vibrato is very pertinent. You'll hear when I'm playing that I don't use a Western vibrato on the violin. That's how I do my vibrato. Everything is very deliberate, and there's a vocabulary of ornamentation as well. So my advice when I'm dealing especially with violin and vocal students is try not to use the vibrato that you're used to and try to get the melodies as simply as you can, because then you're going to discover new forms of vibrato. So that would be in general my advice. I think, like, in terms of in terms of tonal quality, there are differences, but I would say work with a teacher or a coach on that. That's not something I can give you as general advice. You know, we have to work on individual tonal quality. What's the jints above the upper tonic? There's another question. In many cases, right, on the octave, we might use the same jints. Not always, but frequently. In Maqam Nahawan, that is the case. In some of the maqamat, you actually have a different jints on the octave, which is an interesting situation. But then also keep in mind, there may be a different jints on the upper tonic of the octave if due to other changes in the maqam. So in Maqam Nahawan, we're going to use jints Nahawan on the octave, but we'll also use jints rust. We haven't covered jints rust. I'll cover that in another class. I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is Maqam Bayati. So today we did Jints Bayati as part of Maqam Nahawand. Tomorrow I'll do Maqam Bayati, and we're going to see that Jints Nahawand and Jints Rust are part of Maqam Bayati. You'll see the same ajnas repeated in different combinations to form different maqamat. A Bandcamp list to purchase pieces Maya wrote to me. That was direct to me. I don't really use Bandcamp. I probably should. I put everything on YouTube because that's what I use. The thing about YouTube is that you can find, especially if you search with Arabic text, more older Arabic music than you can find on any of the other streaming services, so I tend to use YouTube. Any other questions? We really have 1 minute left before we have to turn it over to someone else. No other questions? Well, thank you all for being here. Again, like these classes, the 3 classes are not sequential. I'll do a different maqam tomorrow and then a different maqam on Sunday. If you happen to be here again on Sunday, then you'll get something else. If you're here tomorrow and not Sunday, you'll get something out of it. So thank you all very much for being here.